It's Tuesday, which means another episode of Focus on Fundamentals. Do you do flying geese and they always turn out a little crooked? Or you just don't want to do flying geese because they never turn out right? That was me. I hated flying geese. So today we're going to talk about the wing clipper and how to make flying geese and how to trim them down so that you won't have any issues with flying geese anymore and you'll love them. Okay? So that's our goal today. So with flying geese, we're going to do the 5 square method, which is 1 big square and 4 small squares. Okay? Some people may know it as the no waste method. Okay? That's the method we're going to use to construct this. Okay? So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our large square and our 4 small squares. On your small square, you are going to, most people will tell you to draw a line corner to corner and sew a 1/4 inch away on both sides. Well, we're going to make it a little bit more perfect than that. We're going to take our quilter's magic wand, and on here is a laser line. We're going to put that laser line corner to corner on our block, and then we're going to draw on each side of that magic wand. That's going to give you a perfect 1/4 inch on each side of a center position. Okay? And we're going to do that for all of our blocks, all 4 of those small squares. So to start, we are going to put our small squares onto our large square. Most patterns will tell you to push it right up to the edge of the fabric. We're not going to. We're going to squish it in just a few threads on each side, okay, so that you can see that background square underneath. And then you'll line up your marks that you just made. Throw a couple pins in to make sure it stays put. And then you're going to end up sewing directly on these lines.
Marilyn Duncan says hi, and Marianne Grabo says hi.
Well, hi, Marianne, and hi, Marilyn. Nice to hear from you guys this morning. Glad you're joining us. So we're going to sew on these 2 lines. A suggestion would be to start with, when you put it in the machine, start with this end, because it's going to run straight across this line as opposed to coming this way where you could bump into this and it could get moved a little bit. So just a little tip there. So start sewing this direction, and then you can come back this direction. Okay? So you're going to get all of those, both of those sewn together, and it's going to look like this. You've sewn directly on your lines. You've got a good 1/4 inch on each side of center like we need it to be. Then you're going to cut it in half. And when you cut it in half, you're going to end up with 2 units. And you're cutting corner to corner now. Okay, so you're going to end up with 2 units that look like this. Now we need to press them. That's another tip I want to share with you. When you go to press, most people will open them up and just push that seam with their fingers. 9 times out of 10, when you push that seam, you're pushing it up, whether you believe it or not, at a little, in a little arc. And we don't want that. We want happy flying geese in the end, but we don't want them smiling that much, okay? So we want to make sure we press nicely. The way I press, and I've just come to do this the last few months, seems to work well for me. Maybe it'll work well for you as well. What I'll do is I will push these back and I will finger press, but instead of pushing out, I push up, okay? Just up. And if you have a wool mat or a Steady Betty, that's going to help to stabilize that while you push. And you only want to push up. And then you'll take your iron and you'll do a press. Don't iron it, press it. Okay?
Sandy Davies is watching, and Barbara Eade.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Barb. Nice to have you guys with us today. Hope you're doing okay. Okay, so again, we're just going to open it up and we're going to finger press, pushing up. Don't push out, okay? So we have these guys all nice and pressed. Now we're going to take our next, let me get this one, it's less wrinkly. Our next square that we've marked our lines on, because we did this on all 4 of our squares, we're going to line him up again, squishing in just a few threads from the edge. And if you will notice, these marks line up pretty darn close to the valleys that are created right there. Okay, that's going to give you a nice end result. Okay, so we've squished it in a little bit from the edge. Again, you're going to sew directly on those lines. And you're going to do that for both pieces.
Joyce Vanderswall doll. And
Hi, Joyce.
Pat Judd.
And hi, Pat. Nice to have you guys with us today. Okay, so once you get these all pressed, get these all sewn, you're going to cut across corner to corner again, and you're going to end up with units that look like this. Again, we need to press. So we're just going to push it up, and we're going to finger press, pushing forward, not out. If you push out, you're either going to get a frown or a smiley face. So we always want to press going up, okay? Pressing toward that. Okay, so now we have our flying goose, and we need to trim him down. So I'm going to set this up so that you guys can see it. And then I'll turn it around so that I can trim it for you. So with your wing clipper, let's get this back in here. So with your wing clipper, excuse me, you have diagonal lines. This is our common diagonal, and then we have sizing diagonals going the other direction. Okay. So what we want to do is you're going to start off with the flying goose unit where the point is facing towards you. That's going to be our first cut. We're going to take our sizing diagonal that's on the right-hand side, and we're going to lay it on that seam. And you're going to go down until you find a sizing diagonal that's going to encompass your flying goose. Okay, in this case, my flying goose is going to finish at 2.5 by 4.5. Okay, so I've got a diagonal going on the left side, a diagonal going on the right side, and I have just a little bit to trim away right there. Okay, hope you can see that okay. So I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to trim these first 2 sides. So my diagonal is lined up on both of my seams. There we go. And you don't have a lot to trim, but you have a little bit to trim. And that trimming is because you squished those squares in from the corners, okay? So now, your second trim is going to be with the large end of the goose facing you. You've turned it around 180 degrees. We're going to put the same lines, I'm going backwards here. Put the same lines on here. And this time you're also going to line up with, let's see, I got to turn this around, make sure I get this going right for you guys. There we go. Sorry, I can't do things backwards and upside down very well today. Okay, so you're going to line up your finished size, your cut size lines, your 4.5 and your 2.5. And you'll notice this little X right here at the tip. That X is important. You want that tip of that goose right in that X, because from the tip to the edge of the tool is exactly 1/4 inch. Okay, so when you have that and you have some room to trim, you will never lose the nose of your goose. Okay, so let me trim this for you. Okay, so I've got him all lined up. My X is at the tip. I have room to spare. Not much, but a little. And when I take off, this is all I trimmed. But that makes a huge difference in making your flying geese square and the right size. So that's important, that little trim. So if you will notice, I have a 1/4 inch from the tip to the edge of the goose, and my corners, the seams go right into the corner, okay? That tells me that that flying goose is going to work well with other flying geese, other units. You will never lose the tip of your goose, okay? So that's why I love the wing clipper. So if you have a wing clipper and you've never used it before, this would be a good time to start doing that. We've got some projects that we're going to show you here real quick. We've got a project that uses our flying geese that I think is going to be perfect for this this winter, and it is called Deck the Halls. And let's see if I can get at least some of this in the camera. Whoop, some of this in the camera for you. Okay, these are nice big flying geese. And we're going to have some classes on this. This pattern was created by Jackie O'Brien. She's another certified instructor with Deb Tucker. And she created this on her website. It's available on her website, which is If These Threads Could Talk. So you can go and check that out. She's got a lot of other patterns. She does one block wonders that are absolutely stunning, so you might want to check it out. But anyway, this project, real easy, flying geese and half square triangles. So if you've wanted to learn how to use your wing clipper, you want to give it a try, see how perfect they can actually be, this would be a good project for you. We've got a few classes coming up this month. I think this coming Saturday, next Tuesday, and maybe next Friday. But if those days don't work for you, that's okay. Just stop in, we'll create a class just for you, because I want you to see how wonderful this tool is and how easy this project is to do. One more thing I want to share with you is some blocks from our upcoming block of the month that's going to start in September. God willing, it's going to start in September. And it's black and white with red. Of course, you don't have to use red. You can pick your own color. Nice, huge, big flying geese. Okay. We have different colors of flying geese, a couple different combinations here. A lot of these blocks in this block of the month use flying geese. Okay. Flying geese up here, and look at these little guys. Little bitty guys, just as easy to do as the big ones. I promise. I wouldn't steer you wrong, you know that. So these are some of the blocks out of our upcoming block of the month. If you're interested in that, please let us know. So if you have any questions, put them down below. Give me a call, text, whatever. Love to hear from you. Hope this was some information that you found valuable. And I hope you're ready to work on your wing clipper a little bit and perfect those flying geese. Till next week, have a great day.